Do go and check that out, it's fantastic. So, as a skilled professional soldier, trained in anti-terrorist tactics, you have been hired by the US government to assist in a top-secret operation. While touring Central Africa, the former president was taken hostage by a group of revolutionaries, and due to diplomatic reasons, the government can't send a military intervention. Instead, an elite corps of Mercs, known as the Mercs, have been selected to rescue the president and stop the rebels in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So this is Mercs, this is Rifle. He starts off with a tiny stream of bullets. I'm going to be grabbing power icons as I go, like that, to get more bullets, because as we all know, more bullets equal more freedom. And the bullets from the grunts that you see here have got a hitbox 4 times their size, so you do have to be quite careful with that. And I'm on the first boss already here. So what I'm going to do is use my 3 M-bombs, which are mega crashes, and they are going to give me 1 second of invulnerability each. And they're going to do lots of damage. Rifle is very happy, he's going to do a bit of dancing because he loves his job. And at the end of every stage I will get 16 points of health back, which is currently half my health, and 3 M-bombs, so it pays me to use them. Onto the second stage, there is going to be a movable jeep that I can get into for a free ride. I'm going to try and flick into diagonals because diagonal movement in this game is slower than horizontal and vertical. Here's that free jeep we were talking about, let's go for a ride. Kill a few grunts while we're at it to avoid getting thrown out of a jeep. Get an upgauge which adds 4 points to my maximum health and get past some stationary tanks. We've been dipped out of our jeep early, which is unfortunate. Do a little bit of wiggling here, you don't want to touch these tanks because you'll get very large amounts of damage. And do a little manipulation to spawn that tank later to avoid getting hit from it. Taking a hit there costs me 20 frames, that can add up. Got a biker gang running away there because they hear that we're quite powerful. And we've got the second boss, which is a panzer tank. Grunt wants an autograph, no thank you, not today. So all I have to do here is stand in front of the panzer tank and mash, use my M's, which will give me a second of invulnerability, and M's will damage a square in front of Rifle, so it's important that I use them in the correct location. Just show you here, if I move diagonally along this wall, it is not as fast as moving purely horizontally. That does become quite important later on. So at the moment there are only 7 or 8 of us who have run this game. I'm going to shout out JK, Loser and Jugariel. They played the game with me recently in the exchange, which was a casual race we'd set up. And I feel like this is a fairly accessible speedrun. I had this game when I was younger, which is funny because I couldn't actually beat arcade mode. So it was nice to finally do that. Stay flush vertically against that turret to avoid it hitting me. There's a spread shot weapon there. I don't want that. That's not so good for the speedrun. And although this guy's name is Rifle, we are going to give him a slight etymological crisis because I'm about to upgrade his weapon to a grenade launcher. There is one disadvantage of that. You'll see I am firing a lovely stream of bullets at the moment. When I get that grenade launcher, it's going to be slightly harder for me to get grunts out of the way in the close area like that. It would help if I shoot the thing I'm meant to be shooting. And apparently I have taken the wrong weapon. We have instantly taken a slightly interesting turn in this run where I'm going to hoard more M's than I would usually expect to. And I'm going to take advantage of the fact that should I die, I will get 3 M's back and all my health. So I'm slightly low on health here. I'm going to take advantage of that and take a couple of hits from these guys. And you'll see that the helicopter here was still coming in, so I didn't lose as much time as you would expect to. There is a point at the end of mission 6 where we're going to be taking advantage of that as well. Typically, you'll get through this game with 1 continue, maybe 2. This is 2, that's unfortunate. But this isn't such a difficult one to run. Original mode, however, is a 13.5-minute marathon of tactics, of judgment. It's bristling with 15 frame time saves. That is easily the best speedrun I've ever done, and I would love for you all to pick it up. And if anyone's interested in running Mercs, we would love to teach you as well, so head on over to the speedrun page, see what it's about. Mission 4 introduces frogmen. The main problem here is frogmen are faster than you in every direction. They do double damage, and it's really important to have your movement on point. So I'm going to try and spawn them in the correct positions and not let them catch up to me as well. There's an up gauge there that's very slow to grab, so we don't want that. Taking a couple of hits, that's a shame. And we've got some lag in stage 4 as well, where this speedboat section can cause a lot of slowdown. Who knew? Water is laggy. Get past the aqueduct here, and I'm going to use this opportunity to get the grenade launcher, which I was meant to do earlier but didn't manage to. There it is. Normal service has been resumed. Rifle is very happy. We've got extra M's as well, which is quite useful, and the M's are very good for making this quite a safe speedrun to do just out of the box. On to the next boss, which is a Tugboat of Doom. We have apparently sunk his big brother battleship at some point in the past. He wants revenge. Not today. He's got a big old flamethrower that we've just got to stand slightly on the right of, and again, fire M's, get your invincibility. When you fire an M, you will do 20 damage to a boss immediately, so that can be quite useful to save one for the end of battles. We are halfway through the game, although we've only got 2 missions left. They're bigger and beefier than the other ones. And at this point I'm going to mention Jugariel again, because during the exchange he found a way to save a little bit of time on stage 5 on the preamble to the boss. So well done to him, because we hadn't thought of that before. Going to follow the brickwork here and avoid this 45-degree turret. No problems at all. Get a ride in a free tank up here as well. Stay on the right of these bricks to make sure that I don't miss any of these stationary targets, which has been done in the past, which is quite the mistake to make. You don't want to do that. We've got some landmines. We've also got the Pink Pajama Gang coming up. And the advantage for those guys, their rocket launchers are damaging, but if you touch them, they won't hurt you. So I can damage boost off of them later on. Lag from all these grunts. We're going to fire into a stationary tank here, and I'm going to try and get into this little corner up here, because then as he dies like that, I can move further up the board free of charge. Thank you very much. Touch tank damage is not ideal, but that's okay. And the next boss is a giant death train. This really is a choke point for beginning speedrunners and for casual players, because there are going to be some giant cannons that can destroy you in one hit. I'm moving left because Rifle's sprite in profile is far smaller. Going to use an M there. That's the strat Ariel realised we could do, because the missiles that fire from the top of the screen are RNG based on the frame you enter the fight. I am hopefully going to be able to pull off the task kill on the train when its 5 HP bars come up by counting to 11 and then moving down, moving in time with the missiles. I'm going to move to the top left corner here to try and trick these guys into firing off screen like that so I don't get hit. Because if you keep getting hit in this game, you're going to have a bad time. They do seem bent on killing me right now. I don't really want to die. Thank you very much. Only one more. So we're going to try and do the task style kill. This is going decently so far. Really good music in this as well, as you would expect from any Capcom game. Let's see what I can do here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Nope. Took a hit. That's unfortunate. Should be able to get through unscathed though. So we save a couple of seconds there, because any time you use an M, it only affects the area in front of Rifle, not to the side. We're going to get health back for the final boss though, and for the final level, so we should be okay. And the final stage is the terrorist compound. They've got some morals, they've been paying their electric bills. There are some giant electric fences that can kill you in one hit, so we do have to be more careful. The difficulty is ramping up here. Try and get past these guys. Yep. That's one hit we don't want. Might have to take a death here. And the world record now is down to 10:06, thanks to some advancements recently in small movement optimizations. And hopefully it will get down to 10:04 or 10:03 in the future. I shout out Fletcher, who was the one who did a large part of the work in getting the run lower, both this and in original mode. And it was he and I who pushed down original mode. Originally we ran it in PAL because nobody had touched it before, but when we transferred over to NTSC we found a few really cool things. So instead of having just one character, original mode has 5 characters that you can upgrade in speed, in health, and they each have their own weapon. And one of them, called Laser, can damage bosses while they're off screen, so we found some really cool tech with that. Heading into the final compound area, we're going to get one more up gauge, so we should have 48 points of health as opposed to 32 when we started. And now it's the electric fences of doom. Bombs away. You can wait those out, but it is faster and more reliable to go there. And you will remember that I mentioned there is an opportunity to take a free death here. We're going to take advantage of that now, because we've got some vehicles here that will continue moving no matter what you do. Free death, thank you very much. 3 M's to get as well. Fire a move across while they're dying. We've got some biplanes here. Any equipment will do, I suppose. I'm in a historically conservationist mood, so I'm going to leave them standing, because they are quite pretty after all. A couple of turrets here. Fire at the correct moment. And we're going to glitch the graphics out because the game doesn't expect us to get past that stage. We have got a computer-controlled missile bank here. It is very important to move left and right, not diagonally, in order to avoid these bullets firing at you. We've got a couple of M's we can fire as well, just for good measure. That's it. Job's a good one. Only the final rescue to go, and the former president will be safe. And at the start of this, I will be attempting a blind spot strategy that I managed to come up with, which saved a few frames over the TAS, which is really funny because I seem to have a habit of finding things in games that are faster than TAS. See if I can get that. That looks good. There's a blind spot. Neither of the banks can hit me. Everything is good. Wait for the one bar. And time. That is Mercs for the Genesis in 10 minutes 40. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back in a couple of hours with a couple of obscure Japanese platformers, neither of which was released in North America. Until then, glory to you and your rifle.